Welcome back to Fit for Life. We have a good show for you today. We are going to do some yoga. We're going to do seated yoga today. And I just want to talk about the word yoga itself. It means union. It means the union of mind and body. The mind affects the body and the body affects the mind. It's true. They work together, but you have to be quiet to get that to happen. And most people have trouble finding that today, a quiet place, a quiet spot. It's almost impossible. So when you practice yoga, you do want to be quiet. You don't want the television to be on. Maybe some nice quiet music. I think next time we tackle yoga, I will have some nice background music for us too. But today I want to do more instruction. It's a Sanskrit word meaning union. The yoga breath is what gets us into that state, that relaxed yogic state. It's also the first thing we do for meditation, to get into a meditative state. So the yoga breath is very, very important, and I will go over that a little bit later too. Yoga helps to reduce your stress, anxiety, and even depression. I think as much as taking a walk, they both relieve your depression. If you do, it's not normal to be depressed all the time. But just because we're aging doesn't mean that we're not going to be depressed. We shouldn't get upset about it because there's a lot we can do about it. So keep that in mind. There's a lot to be thankful for. The word is thankful. Look at what we have. And yoga can help us with that. It can also lower your heart rate and your blood pressure because it has a meditative aspect. And I'm pretty sure most of you know that. Maybe some of you are already taking classes. And we never get too old to do that kind of thing. We're always learning, right? It stretches and strengthens your muscles, and it's good for the bones too. Yes, it strengthens bones, just like strength training does. It also improves your sleep, which we all need, and it relieves the pain and stiffness of what? Arthritis. So for that reason alone, you should be practicing yoga. I know there's so many things we can do, but yoga is a really important one. Okay, so before we do our little warm-up, because we're going to be seated through this class, I have my thoughts for the day. Just a couple here. And I believe this is true. To be 70 years young is sometimes far more cheerful and hopeful than to be 40 years old. Do you know people like that are young, but not really? And who said that? Oliver Wendell Holmes, poet/physician. I had forgotten that. How about this one? He who knows others is learned. He who knows himself is wise. I'm still working on that myself, by the way. And that is a philosopher, Lao Tzu. Tzu. Pronounce that, right? So are you ready to get going? We are going to do our wake up or our morning exercises. So you're going to sit back and just push yourself. This is not going to be terribly difficult, but it is going to get your blood flowing. So you're on the mattress, so ordinarily you'd be up here, but we're going to put the feet down here because we're seated, we're not lying down. Now, what could be easier than this? And I'm not lying to you, I do this every single morning. The man who told me about this group of exercises lived to be over 100, and he didn't wear glasses and he didn't have arthritis. I mean, maybe he was just one of those lucky people, but he was very intelligent, and I do them every day. Almost every single day I do this just to wake up. And then what I do is both feet on the mattress. I circle my feet this way, and I do both together so I won't be here all morning, right? Easy stuff. Just moving those feet around. Good. And then we'll go the other way. I'm not counting. It's nice to do 8 of everything at least, if you can. All right? And just let those feet drop down. All right, so what are we going to do next? We're just going to lift the leg up and put it down. It's kind of a bouncy movement. 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Let's rest for a second. Let's do another 8. Here we go. so that you're lifting the leg up as high as it will go. It's not going to go straight up, by the way. Not until you practice for about a year, okay? So again, lifting and just bouncing that leg. You're still lying down. You can still have your eyes closed, but you should feel good that you can do something this easily without even getting up, right? So I always do these for sure. And then I take a walk if I can. It's as long as it isn't snowing or raining, but you know, sometimes I do that. I still walk. All right, let's do the other leg. This leg actually would be flat out on the bed now, or you can do it with a bent knee. It's a little bit easier. So we're lying down, the leg is out, flat on the bed, straight out, and lift. 1, 2, and 3. Feel it here. 4, and 5, and 6, and 7. So again, this is a warm-up. Let's try another 8. Lift and bounce. 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Could be easier than that. I don't know. All right, now the next time, the first leg you used, instead of lifting up and down, you're going to just lift it with your hands so they go behind your thigh here on the hamstring, and you lift up and try to get that leg as high as you can. And you just hold it. Keep holding. That's right. And 4, and 5, and 6, 7. And if anything hurts, you know if something is wrong. You just stop doing it, right? The other leg, flat out on the bed, and lift that up. Good. Lift it and hold it as much as you can. It's probably easier lying down, really, but I do want you to become familiar with these and try to remember to do at least some of them. I would say there are about 10 of them. I won't be able to give you everything, but I'll give you a lot of stuff today. Wonderful. Now, that's good for the back of the legs. It's good for the abdomen, but we want to do something for the hip, too. So what I do first is just let the knees go back and forth. They kind of flop down on either side. Most people can't get the knees to touch the mattress, but if you keep doing it, you'll see pretty soon they'll be able to touch, and you'll know that you're improving. So it's easy, back and forth. Just let them flop onto the mattress, side to side. You're just lying there. Good. Haven't had your coffee yet. Back and forth. But then I want to do something a little more effective. So I will cross a little bit. Now I don't want you to put the full weight of your leg on the other leg, especially if you're not supposed to do that and you have a circulation problem. But what I do is I kind of pull the leg down with this leg. And the longer you stay down and try to keep that leg going in that direction, the better the stretch will be. You can feel it. It's not going to be comfortable the first time you do it. But just be gentle, be careful. Try it easy the first time, nice and easy. And hold all of these for at least 10 or 15 seconds. So you don't have to do more. Do less, longer, right? So then I cross this one over, and then the leg kind of gets down there, kind of close to the mattress. So I like this one. Easy to do. You can feel it in your hip, but it also relaxes your lower back too and stretches that out a little bit. And a lot of us have back problems, not just with aging, although arthritis comes along with that. So just try to alleviate it a little bit by keeping those muscles, especially the big muscles, stretched out. So that's pretty good too, isn't it? Yeah. And then I take both knees and pull them toward my chest. This is one of the most important exercises for back problems. If you're in physical therapy or you've had physical therapy, you probably had this exercise. But we're going to do one at a time because we're in the chair seated. It's not so easy to bring both feet up. If you can, just bring that up. If you have a knee that's kind of sore or irritated, hold underneath the hamstring area and pull that. Good. If you want, you can bring your head up a little bit or just chin right down to your chest here. So this is a great one. Great for the exercise for the lower back. And this one I definitely do. And I do feel better, and I can move much more easily when I get up after I do these exercises. So let's try the other side. Good. I'm going to do underneath this time, pulling it closer, closer. And we can come forward a little bit because we're seated. So this is something else that we can do that I really like and I try to do every morning. Another thing, and we can't do it here, it's called the bridge. If you take yoga, if you've had yoga classes, this is a wonderful strengthener for the lower back and the quadriceps. So you're lying flat and then you bring your knees up and you lift your bottom up. And I'm sure you've seen that kind of an exercise. So keep that in mind. If you know how to do it, because it will keep your legs and your back nice and strong. That's where problems come in. When the back is weak, all of this kind of goes to heck, right? So don't forget to do that bridge. It's a very important exercise. All right, now we're going to do some real yoga. Grab some water. Sit up straight while you're drinking, if you can. Good. Cheers. Do you take this with you when you drive? Take some water, just in case. You might be stuck in traffic. You're very, very thirsty. You never know. Now, before starting yoga classes, and most of them, they do these prayer hands. You've seen these. And they say namaste. Namaste really has a lot of meanings, but mostly it means peace, for one thing, to some people, but it's also a salutation, and it's respect for the people that you're with. You're just saying hello, it's nice to see you. And it's also done at the end of a yoga class. So I love the word. It too is a Sanskrit word. Remember, it's a salutation. It shows respect for the people that you're with and yourself too. All right, so here's what we're going to do. You're going to sit forward in your chair. We're going to put our knees right here, hands on our knees. Pull yourself up nice and straight. You can look up at the ceiling if you want. All right. Now we're going to do the opposite. Just lift those shoulders up, round your back. Round your back. Okay. Wonderful. All right. And then you're going to pull yourself up nice and straight. Now, the movements we're doing here are just very beginner movements. They're parts of the different asanas, they call them, ASANAS. They would be part of the whole picture. So we're just trying to stretch the body out and just give you just a little bit of many movements, okay? So keep that in mind. All right, now we're going to clasp our hands in back of the neck, right? And you're going to try to get those elbows as far back as you can. This will help you flatten your back out with less effort, actually. Now bring those elbows in. Don't squeeze your ears too much. All right, but first, we're going to do the most important thing. We're going to breathe up through the nose. And as you exhale through your mouth, you're going to bring those elbows back. Keep exhaling. Try to make the exhale longer. All right? And don't be too hard on yourself. You're trying, you're moving, so it's great. Let's try it again. We're going to breathe up through the nose, out through the mouth as you bring those elbows together, or as close together as you can. Good. And then we're going to bring those elbows back. This time you'll see they'll go back a little bit more. Let's do a little bend here. Back and forth. Oh, this feels good. 2. And you're not going to fall off the chair. It's just a nice little stretch for your side. And yoga is not just for flexibility, it is for strength. It's meditative, like Tai Chi. Back and forth. Good. All right, let's sit back up again, as straight as we can get. And what you're going to do is just turn. Oh, love it. That feels good. And these are movements you don't ordinarily do, so that's why we have to do them, because you want to use all 600 of your muscles, right? That's a lot of muscles. My goodness. Wow. All right, good. And let's go back the other way. Great. Wonderful. And then we'll come back to the front. Good. Just bring those arms down. And I'd like you to put your hands on your knees. This is part of something called the cat. the yoga cat. As you breathe up, you're going to just pull yourself up nice and straight, breathing up through the nose. And as you exhale, you can drop that chin down, pull your abdomen in just a little bit, round your back. So you know how a cat stretches like this sometimes? Well, now we're going to do it. It feels good, right? Now pull yourself back up, breathe up through your nose. Feels great. And then we're going to come back, and we're going to come back and back. Rounding your back now, dropping your chin down, lifting your shoulders. So you don't have to have good posture now. But as you come up, you're going to breathe up. Up through your nose. Now stay here and exhale in this position. Good. And try to make that exhale as long as possible. All right, one more time. We're breathing up, pulling against your knees, looking up at the ceiling. And exhale as you round. Round down, 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 and down. Good. That feels so good. Pull yourself right up. Wonderful. Now I'd like you to cross your arms. You're going to give yourselves a hug. You're working so hard. Try to get those hands as far back as you can. If not, this is fine. We just want to cross. So you can pull yourself forward in this kind of a position also. And pull yourself back up. And do a little twist. Good. And then a twist the other way. Great. And then back. Now let's do prayer hands. Reaching up to the ceiling. Good. All the way up. All the way up. And then bring your arms down. And open. Bring those arms back. Doesn't that feel good? As I said, these are just parts of the asanas, parts of the movement. The yoga movements. Bring those hands together. We'll do prayer hands again one more time. Reaching up and up. And up. So you're using all of your muscles when you practice yoga. And you can do it seated, you can do it standing, you can do it lying down. All right, good. And then just bring those hands together and elbows back down again. All right. Now what I'd like you to do, put one hand behind your back, grab that hand with your other hand, and I'd like you to do a little twist this way. I'm going to come forward in the chair. Good. And then we're going to twist in the opposite direction. Good. And then back. And this time we'll do a little bend instead of a twist. A little bit of bending. Great. And to the other side. Let's stay here for a few seconds. You can breathe on each one of these, but if you don't, just try to remember not to hold your breath, okay? And then, oh, wonderful. Good, that is great. Now, take this hand, cross it over to the opposite, outside of the opposite knee, and you're going to keep turning. So we're doing another twist. Turn your head too. Oh, that feels great. And then we'll come back slowly. Take a breath up through your nose first. As you exhale to the outside of the opposite knee, and just kind of push yourself to the opposite direction. Great. And then we'll come back slowly. So how are you feeling? Are you feeling sore? Are you feeling stretched out? What we're going to do next is a standard, regular yoga movement. It's usually done standing up because you use arms and legs, all right? It's called the eagle, and we'll do it with the arms today, because if you try to do this with your legs, stand up, and then do this with your arms, it might be a little difficult. But it's one elbow on top of the other, and then try to touch your hands. Can you grab your hands at all on this? See? If it's too much, just do this. At least you're getting a nice little cross stretch here. Some of you might be able to do just this, but see if you can touch something, touch your thumb, and this really stretches out your upper back. It's a great little movement. I love this. So what is it called? It's called the eagle. So let's go back, do this again. Great, sitting up nice and straight. Easier this time, isn't it? Because you've been stretching out. Wonderful. Let's take a yoga breath first. And when you exhale, cross over And see how long you can hold that. Feels pretty good. All right, let's relax for a minute. We're going to sit back, grab your water if you need it. Feet out, nice and relaxed. Drop that chin forward. You can shake your feet out if you want, a little bit. All right, now just bring your feet back. And this is not a yoga movement, but it is a nice stretch, and it is relaxing, and it's very good for your feet. Just lift your toes up and put them down. Up, down, up, down, up. It could be easier than that, but at least you're moving, getting some benefit from this. It's very simple, it's very easy to do, and it is very relaxing for the foot. I'm going to bring my feet back a little more and do just the heel this time. Heel, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. All right, the next thing we're going to do is done seated usually. It can also be done on the floor. It's called the pigeon. So we're gonna do our version of the pigeon. And if you can do this, if you can get your leg up here. So what is that? You're putting this kind of on top of your knee, maybe a little back, wherever is comfortable. The pigeon. Now if you're lying on your stomach, what you do is you have this leg in front of you and you're kind of pushing it down to see if you can get that knee down to the floor. So very gently push down if you can, nice and tall. Wonderful. Now I use this as a posture exercise too, and I'll show you how, because it usually is comfortable. I do this with other exercise classes too. Take your hand, reach under and grab your leg like this, so you have one hand on top, right? And one underneath. All right, and pull yourself up. So it's kind of an easy way to have perfect posture. But of course you're not going to be sitting like this all the time. But you'll feel the difference. You'll look better, you're taller, it's better for your back. All right, so what is this called? It's called a pigeon. Let's try the other side. This side is a little stiffer for me. As I've said many times, anything we have two of are not exactly the same, right? Let's push that knee down gently, just push it down. Because you might be sitting on the floor sometime in this position, right? But you have to practice this first. So very gently pushing the knee down, reach through and around, and just pull yourself up, nice and straight. Doesn't that feel wonderful? I love it. Great. And I urge you to take a yoga class. There are many good schools around, many good studios around us, all over the world. It's a very old practice. Going down, they around 5,000 years. That's a long time. I think what probably happened was the yogis that used to meditate, all the priests, they would sit in caves for hours and hours in this position. And I don't think they could move when they got up. So maybe that's how they devised yoga, to stretch them out and get their blood circulating. I don't think it was a really healthy thing, but it's part of many religions where they just get used to sitting like this. There are many societies that eat like this, and I'm sure you all know that, but they're used to it. So we're just trying to stretch out ourselves a little bit and just keep ourselves nice and flexible. All right, you're going to sit back now. For the next few minutes, just a couple of minutes, we're going to try to do nothing. Yoga is very relaxing too. I love yoga. I should do more of it, but I do so many other things that sometimes I can't find the time. So just relax. Let's point those toes one more time. Now sit up away from the chair, arms out, and just see how long you can sit here for a few seconds. This gets very tight. All right, we'll bring those arms up, hands together, prayer hands, and then just bring them down, and then we'll relax. Now, we're going to do just a very easy, slight meditation, nothing very deep. We're just going to start with this breath, this meditative breath, a yoga breath. So you can rest your arms like this on the chair or in your lap, if this is more comfortable, whatever makes you comfortable. And we're going to take a breath together. You're going to breathe up through your nose You should be expanding the abdomen a little when you do that. It doesn't happen naturally. You have to really practice that. So when you breathe up, you're pushing out a little, just a little bit. And then when you exhale, you can just tighten that a little bit. I'll pull it in. And if that doesn't come naturally, don't worry about it. You can practice it. So we'll breathe up through the nose again. Some people breathe out through the nose too, and that's fine if that's more comfortable for you. But in all the books I've read, I hear both. There's all kinds of breathing in yoga. There's alternate nostril breathing, believe it or not, where you hold one side of your nose, breathe in through this one, hold that side, and breathe out the other. So I thought we would just keep it simple today, okay? So I just hope you're becoming relaxed and calm. And I hope you feel good about yourself, that you've done something, you've done some exercise, maybe learned something. I don't know, yoga is very popular, not just in India. It's popular all over the world. It's used in prisons, it's used in schools today. I think there's a yoga for dogs, and I just can't imagine what that is. I don't know how you teach a dog to breathe like that, but I do know there's doggy massage, so why don't we end on that note? So again, stay comfortable. You can close your eyes if you want. We'll do our yoga breath together all the way up through the nose, expanding. And you will relax when you exhale out through your mouth. And just keep pushing that air out and make that exhalation longer. Keep your chin down. You don't have to look at me because I'm sure most of you can hear me. You might want to move your head from side to side. And because of this yoga breath, you will become relaxed. It does work. It actually changes your brain waves. Try to think about a scene or something that makes you relax. Sometimes I find going into a church is very relaxing. An art museum, there's a room that's kind of small. Looking at water can be very relaxing for people, or anything green. An English garden with flowers. I can hear the bees buzzing around right now. Whatever relaxes you, try to keep your mind on that one thing. And just remember that meditation is not what you think. So let's take another breath together. Up through the nose, good. Holding for a couple of seconds, and make this breath long, your exhalation longer. Keep going, drop that head forward. But I hope you can hear me, and what I'm saying is tune me in next time. We'll have a good time. I'll have something interesting for you. Bye for now.